welcome back to Mayhem with Maverick, brought to you by Mayhem Studios, LLC. Quick reminder, if I offend you, I'm sorry, but it's my opinion. I have a right to speak it. Don't follow me. So, what do we have to talk about today? It's been a week. Oh, that's right. Donald Trump is going to be our 47th president. Woo! That's from his inauguration back in when he was 45th president. Folks, this is awesome. Listen, you may not be happy with the man. You may not be happy with the election, but he won the popular vote. He won the electoral vote. The country has spoken, and now you have to deal with it. And on top of that, we won the Senate. GOP won the Senate. And as of early this morning, I think the GOP has 216 seats in the House of Representatives, and they only need 218. So pretty sure by the end of the week, they're going to have the House as well. That's a trifecta. Folks, this country's going to be better. Don't worry about the fear-mongering Democrats and liberals that have told you it's not going to be. And speaking of which, the Democrats and the libs, they've been losing their minds ever since the election finished. The usual temper tantrums from these people of the screaming in the middle of nowhere, screaming on YouTube, screaming on TikTok, shaving their heads, screaming all delusional reactions. These people are mentally ill. Now, most of the left aren't. But these people that are on TikTok and YouTube and on the news shaving their heads, thanks for marking you so I know to stay away from you, okay? That you're mentally ill, that you are so upset about an election because you've been lied to by the Democratic Party, you've been lied to by the media, and you've been controlled and told to hate the Republican Party. Most of these people are from that everyone wins generation. Everyone gets a trophy generation. They don't know how to lose. They don't know how to lose. This is how they react when they lose. Because they've been taught their whole lives, everybody's a winner. No, not everybody's a winner, folks. There are winners and there are losers. That's what happens. When you have one job opening and 15 people apply, one man wins, 14 people lose. Okay? Suck it up. Be an adult. Be a grown-up. This country needs to pull their head out their ass and start acting like adults and not crying every time someone doesn't get elected that they think is going to hurt them. All right? All right, let's talk about the media. Oh, and the Democrat Party. You know, of course, they used the standard name calling as soon as the election results were done. Homophobe, transphobe, racist, misogynist, sexist. The list goes on. They basically called the right and anyone who voted for Trump everything in the world. Well, they didn't vote for Kamala because she's black. Wrong answer. Obama was president. He was black. Oh, they didn't vote for Kamala because she was mixed. Wrong answer. Obama was mixed. They didn't vote for Kamala because she was a woman. Wrong answer, because Hillary actually outperformed Kamala. She got more electoral votes. Let's continue on. They didn't vote for her because her husband's white and they're a mixed couple. Wrong answer. J.D. Vance's wife is Indian. Mixed couple. Should I go on with the lies that the left-hanging media and the Democrats have lied and constantly lied? They've constantly just said this all the time. They've said, oh, the black and Hispanic men are now misogynistic because they voted for Trump. When you take these crazy ideas and these crazy views and you throw it at the candidate, whether it's Trump, whether it's anybody, you're going to upset some people and you're going to confuse other people and you're going to make them crazy. You compared Trump to Hitler. That party, the left media, compared him to Hitler. How dare you compare anyone to Hitler? The View constantly said that white women who vote for Trump are uneducated and ignorant. But the majority of their freaking show is white women that are brainwashed by these 5 women that are so just filled with hate that they would lie and tell huge lies about just Republicans in general. You know, that we're evil human beings and that we're uneducated and we don't like women and we don't like men and we don't like this. We don't like, they're lying to confuse you, to create a cult in a way, you know, and I'll tell you why I say cult. Have you heard of the 4B movement, the 4 Bravo movement? Okay, it's a movement from Korea that the far left women have adapted. And basically, what the 4B movement is women that claim that they're not going to have sex, they're not going to get married, they're not going to date, and they're not going to have children with men. What? That's cultish. That's just as bad as Scientology down here in Clearwater. You're joining a cult if you join that group. Really? You're not going to have children with men. Let me tell you something, folks. It's the only way you can have children. A man and a woman. And yes, lesbian couples and gay couples can have children. Yes, but they can't create the children. Okay? You have to have men. So if you don't want to date, and you don't want to have sex, and you don't want to get married, and you don't want to have children, that's fine. All you're going to do is depopulate the left. Go for it. I think a lot of people would be happy that you're not having sex and you're not having children because you're just going to depopulate your own party then. The audacity of these people, the mental health issue in this country is a lot larger than you realize. You didn't see Republicans acting this way when Trump lost against Biden. Yes, there were some people that went a little crazy and wanted recounts and all this crap, but no one shaved their heads. No one's screaming. No one needed cry rooms in college. In fact, after the election, multiple colleges had rooms where they could chill out, had Legos and coloring books. You're a college student. Why do you need a coloring book? Lego, I have no problem with. I do Legos with my 17-year-old because we've built the Rolling Stones tongue. We've built Star Wars stuff. Lego can be different, but you need a coloring book? You're 21 years old in a college, you need a coloring book because your guy didn't get elected? Give me a break. Grow up. This is ridiculous, folks. You know, when Trump lost the first time, if Republican students would have asked for a cry room or asked for a room or asked to have no class, they would have been made fun of. They would have been mocked by the administration of those schools. Some administrators gave kids the day off. How are you prepping them for the real world? How are you getting them ready to work in the real world? Because the real world doesn't stop because you're not happy, because your feelings are hurt. We don't stop. We keep pressing on. That's what's wrong with the generations that are coming up, man. I'm Gen X. You keep hitting me, pushing me down. I keep coming back. You know, it's beyond my comprehension to understand why they're so whacked out about this. Now, of course, Kamala didn't help by trying to blame everybody else. Oh, it's Clooney's fault. It's Biden's fault. It's everybody else's fault but hers, right? So here's the problem too. She raised over $1 billion in her campaign funds, folks. $1 billion. And now she's $20 million in debt. She's in debt from her campaign that lost. And you know how she's trying to make the money up? She started another website, another campaign type fund. I think it was called Moving Forward, where she's asking money, more donations, folks, more donations to help her continue the fight and possibly call for a recount of this election. Give me a break. Now, in some aspects, I get it. You know, Trump did a lot of recounts and demanding and suing states, and, you know, he shouldn't have. He should have just accepted the loss when he did. But this wasn't like a marginalized win. Kamala lost by a lot. I mean, there are states, California, if you look at the state, it almost turned purple. More counties were turning red in California. Kamala had no chance to win this election. She screwed herself. The Democratic Party screwed themselves by putting her in as a deity at the end of Biden when he said, I'm not going to go any longer. They put her in. She didn't get elected into that position. There was no primary. She just was blessed by Nancy Pelosi and the Democratic Party. It's ridiculous. And I don't know why people think it's okay. You know, if we were to try that with the GOP, people would be up in arms. But the country has spoken out. So we need to put our differences aside. Wow, I'm having a hard time struggling because I'm so motivated and I'm so just frustrated of why people are going to act this way. It is ridiculous. Okay, another perfect example of this problem with politics. You know, after Hurricane Milton hit, some jerk in FEMA sent a message out, and here it is. It said to avoid homes that had Trump campaign stuff or any kind of stuff that showed that they supported the Trump election. Are you freaking kidding me? That's how bad it is. Okay. Now, do I think Joe Biden approved that? No, I don't. I don't think Joe Biden would do something like that. Do I think that there's a problem? Yes, there is a problem within Joe Biden's administration because they put the person in charge of FEMA. They appointed that person. And that person is in charge, and their attitude trickles down to all the bosses. And that boss put that out. So it's on his appointee, and it's on him. That should have never happened. But again, you know, this isn't surprising for the Democratic Party. Obama used the IRS against conservative groups. So it's not surprising that they're going to do all kinds of different things to make us feel bad because we're supporting the other person. And again, that person that sent that text message out, I believe, has stepped down or was fired. But there should be more. There should be criminal charges. That person should be locked up and put away and the key freaking buried in another country so that she never comes out because that was bullshit. We got people that are suffering. They lost their homes and you're not going to help them, which is your job, which is our taxpayer money to help them because they want to vote for Trump. Give me a fucking break. Really? That's just BS. I would have never done that to a Democrat. I, as a police officer, I wouldn't roll up to a house that had a pro-Biden or pro-Harris sign and say, well, I'm not going to help you even though your house was robbed. No, I help everybody because that's my job. It's crazy that they would even think it was okay to do that. How about this? This shows you that the Dems are not the brightest organization. And I'm not saying the Democratic voters. I'm saying the people that run the DNC, that run the Democratic Party, right? Some mook from, I can't remember if it was Obama's administration or Kamala's vice presidency. Some guy suggested that Biden should step down so Kamala could become president. Even though it would only be a couple months, she'd be the first female president. And that way she gets that position. And then what she can do is nominate Liz Cheney to be her vice president. And that way, when Trump has to come in to get the government turned over, he has to face two women and the two women he hates. Well, there's some problems within this logic. First of all, I'm going to kill the immediate problem. They don't understand how the government works. If Biden does step down and Harris becomes the president, she can't appoint the VP. Per our rules and our laws, Mike Johnson becomes the VP. The House Speaker becomes the vice president when the vice president becomes president. So right there, it shows that the guy's an idiot that suggested this. And that might explain why Nancy Pelosi has such an issue and hatred towards Biden. I think Pelosi thought that Biden would step down before the midterms, putting Harris in as president, and then Pelosi would have became vice president because she was the Speaker of the House. But then, midterms came and boom, she got booted. All right. The other problem with this is, again, the suggestion of everybody wins. Well, Kamala's feelings are hurt because she lost, so we're going to bow out and let her be president for 2 months that she feels good. That's not how it works. She lost the popular vote. She lost the electoral vote. She didn't even make it past the first phase of the primary when Biden ran against Trump. She was given the VP position, in my opinion, as a DEI because she wasn't qualified. There were a lot more qualified people to be VP, kind of like her pick. He's just a moron from Minnesota. So again, they've lost their minds so much that they're suggesting things that can't even happen because they want it to happen. Just like they want Trump to be a dictator. They want Trump to take away abortion. He's not doing anything that they say he wants to do because it's false. They've put you in a false sense. That's how they control you. That's how they control a cult. They lie to you and they give you false information so that you believe them. You just have to look a little, dig a little deeper, and you'll see half the stuff they tell you is wrong. Oh, I already went over that. Oh, okay. Let's talk about the $1 billion and the 20 million deficit again, right? Do you know that most of the celebrities that spoke on Kamala's behalf, Oprah, Clooney, Beyonce, they got paid. They didn't do it out of the kindness of their heart. She paid Oprah $1 million for her advert. While Oprah was begging people like you and me to give what you can, $5, $20. But yet she's getting paid $1 million to speak. The Julia Roberts commercial, they paid for that. They paid for her to do that. They paid money for these celebs to talk for them. So it makes you wonder, did they really vote for her? Loyalty can be bought, folks. You throw $1 million at me, guess what? I'll tell you Kamala's the greatest thing in the world. Because money talks. And the fact that she burned through $1 billion and instilled 20 million in the hole just shows how bad that they tried to buy your vote. All right, guys. So let's talk about what's coming down the pipeline, right? Trump's cabinet, okay? This is an awesome lineup, all right? So Trump's a misogynist, right? Oh, he's a misogynist. He hates women. Really? White House Chief of Staff, Susie Wiles, first woman to ever hold that position. That doesn't sound misogynistic to me, okay? She's a power hitter from Florida. She worked with Rick Scott and Ron DeSantis. She's going to do awesome in that position. The Deputy Chief of Policy, Stephen Miller, a longtime Trump aide. The border czar. Okay, now folks, I don't like this freaking word. I hate it. I hate that they used it on Kamala, and I hate it. We are not Russian, okay? We're the United States of America. I hate that word czar. It should not be used in anything political in our country. Border czar. First of all, there shouldn't be a border czar. The border is the Department of Homeland Security's responsibility. So there shouldn't be a separate person. But Tom Homan, he's going to be a good position for this. He's a former NYPD police officer. He's a former ICE director. He received a presidential medal from Obama. Obama, the left's god, okay? He'll do great because he's worked on the border. He knows what's going on, and he'll be able to fix it. Now, he's also said that the mass deportations that they keep telling you, oh, Abuela's going to be freaking deported and your grandpa. No. This mass deportation that he wants to do with Trump's agenda is they want to get rid of the criminals first. They're going to get mass deportations on criminals. They're not going after Abuela, who's been here for 30 years illegally, though she, and I think somebody last night said on Gutfeld, criminals can be old too. You commit a crime, you kill somebody at 20, and now you're a grandparent. You're still a criminal. But I'm not saying go after Abuela, okay? I'm saying go after all these scumbag criminals, these people that are trafficking in girls, trafficking in drugs, that are in this country illegally, that are killing our own citizens. Go after them first, and that's what they plan on doing. Now, personally, I think Tom would be a better selection for Department of Homeland Security since he's already worked for ICE. But, I'm not Donald. That's my personal opinion. Okay, the UN ambassador, Elise Stefanik from New York. Man, this is going to be awesome to see because I watched her go after these colleges, these woke colleges, on when they weren't protecting the Jewish students and how they were taking money from the federal government, subsidies, but yet they're not protecting these Jewish students and they're letting all these pro-Palestine students do whatever the hell they want. She is going to be awesome in the UN because I want to see her attack Palestine, the Palestinian ambassadors. I want to see her attack the Iranian ambassadors. I want to see her just gnar these people who scream and yell about the world, but yet they're still living in the past. They're still making their women third country nationals, and and mutilating women's genitalia, because it happens over in the Middle East, folks. So I can't wait to see her in the UN. She's going to be an awesome person to deal with. The EPA administrator, Lee Zeldin. All I really know about this guy is he's a former Army lieutenant colonel, and he was a New York congressman. So I can't really quote much. I didn't find much on him. All right. National Security Advisor, Mike Waltz. He's a former Green Beret and combat vet of the U.S. Army. The man was awarded 4 Bronze Stars, and he served as a Florida congressman. I think he's more than qualified, and I think he's going to do a good job. Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, currently a Florida senator, who's amazingly enough, his story is awesome. His family, he's an immigrant, or his family, he's from an immigrant family. His family fled Cuba, so he knows about right and wrong and how the immigrant life is, right? But he's also a huge opponent against Iran, China, and Libya. He also had been the chair and the vice chair of the Senate Intelligence Committee. I think he'll be an awesome addition to Trump's administration as a Secretary of State. Though, I have a little heart for him because he is from Florida. Department of Homeland Security. All right. Okay, folks. I can't really, I don't know what Donald's thinking. Kristi Noem. All right. South Dakota's current governor. Honestly, I don't think she's qualified. Unless shooting a dog counts as qualifying to run the security for the nation, I really don't think she's qualified. Don't get me wrong. She is a very smart, articulate governor. She's done some great things for South Dakota. She's really trying to boost their economy, trying to bring jobs into that state. She's allowing out-of-state licensing to be accepted in South Dakota. So if you have a license, an EMT license in Florida, they'll accept it in South Dakota. That's awesome because, honestly, folks, when you move around this country and you go from state to state, and when some states won't accept your licenses, it's ridiculous for some people to try and get jobs. So she's really good on that. Again, I don't think she's going to be a good Department of Homeland Security head. I could be wrong. I still am thinking Tom Homan, or better yet, Tulsi Gabbard. Man, Tulsi Gabbard would be awesome in this position. Prior military, went from the left to the right. I think she would really do well and would understand her responsibilities. But that's, again, my opinion, folks. Secretary of Defense yesterday was announced. This just blew my mind. Didn't even know he was in the running. Pete Hegseth, a current news Fox News commentator. Now, I'm a big fan of Pete's. He lives in Tennessee. He went after the woke colleges. I think he tore up his Harvard degree. Pete is a former U.S. Army major. He earned 2 Bronze Stars, right? Graduated from Princeton, graduated from Harvard. He spoke out multiple times about how the military has not been focusing on doing their job properly, that it has become a woke military, more focused on making sure that transgender are accepted, making sure that we have gender neutral bathrooms and that we understand how to use pronouns, and not focusing on our missions. Now, I know from friends that are still active duty that there have been ships that haven't passed their pre-deployment checks to go out on their deployments because they were more focused about, well, we got to do our DEI training. We got to do all this training. So they're failing the real stuff, firefighting and DC stuff. So he's going to do awesome in this position because he's been a military officer. He knows where things need to be fixed. He'll bring back the military on track for their missions, which is war fighting and protecting us and protecting our allies. And Pete, I wish you the best. And if you need an old beat up senior chief, I'd be more than willing to work for you. Okay, next, the CIA director, John Ratcliffe. He was the National Intelligence Director under Trump and during his first presidency. And he's a former Texas congressman. Didn't really find much about him. Though if he already worked as an intelligence director, I'm pretty sure he's probably more than qualified to be a CIA director. Department of Government Efficiency. Leave it to Donald to start things. He created Space Force in his first administration. So now he's creating a new department in his second administration. And it's called the Department of Government Efficiency. And this is just, I love it. Because he's appointing Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy. I hope I said his last name correctly. What can I say? 27 years I served in the United States Navy, right? And during that time, I also worked for 2 civilian police departments, Pinellas Park Police Department and Clearwater Police Department. So I kind of have an idea on how government works. And I can tell you, the federal government bleeds money. They waste money. There's so much stuff that costs more than it should. I remember when I was an electronic technician, we were buying tools for the shop. And the bill came out to be like, $5,000. And I looked and I was like, I told my chief, I can go down to Sears, get the same tools and spend $50. What the hell is that all about? That's all about everybody rubbing each other's hands, all that red tape. My brother-in-law works for this company and I want him to get the contract. Well, that's got to stop, folks. There's a reason why the budget's so big in the military. And it's not the paychecks, because trust me, the military does not get paid for what they do. They deserve some pay raises. It's all wasted money. Contractors that sit on their ass. Now, don't get me wrong. I got friends that are contractors, and I love all my friends that are contractors over at MacDill. I got a lot of friends that are contractors. I'm not talking about these guys, because these guys work at SOCOM, CENTCOM. They're in the shit, okay? But there are contractors out there that sit on their ass and do nothing. And I dealt with them throughout my career. They need to go. These 2 guys will cut the fat from government spending, and we'll all be better off for it. So I wish them the best of luck. And then today, I heard this morning that the U.S. ambassador to Israel is going to be Mike Huckabee, okay, former Arkansas governor and a Baptist minister. I think Mike will do great. I've watched him as a governor. I've watched him as a Fox News commentator. Watched him a lot. I've seen him on commercials selling sleep pills and all that. I think he'll be a great ambassador for Israel. I think that his heart's in the right place. If you know Christians and Jews, we are close knit. We try to help each other out much. So as a Baptist, I know that he will do what's best for the Jewish community and the Israelis as well. So I wish him the best of luck, because I think it's going to be awesome. All right, now remember, folks, some of those positions he gets to pick and put in. But some of those positions has to go through the process, the vetting process through Congress and all that, and be appointed with permission. Okay, so some of them may not get the positions. I highly doubt it, because, again, he has the Senate. He's about to have the House. So I don't see any of these people not making it. All right, so done with politics. The last thing I want to talk about is some hometown news from my hometown of Warwick, New York. Okay. I want everybody there to be safe, be careful. I know the air quality sucks. If you haven't been watching the news right now, everybody knows about all the fires. California always has wildfires, it's because they don't take care of their state properly, and they don't do controlled burns to control stuff. And they have so much rules and regulations about what they can and can't do to protect some little newt instead of protecting their citizens. But what I'm talking about is the wildfires that are going on right now in Orange County, New York. It's in a place called Jennings Creek Sterling Forest Park. Now, anybody who's grew up in Orange County or even northern New Jersey knows Sterling Forest, okay? It's in the town of Warwick, and that's where I'm from, and my heart will always be from Warwick. No matter where I move in this country, my heart will always be at Warwick. Now, that fire is approaching Greenwood Lake, which is a big area, part of Orange County, part of the town of Warwick. This fire, if you don't know about Orange County and the town of Warwick are also bordered on New Jersey and Passaic County. Now, this fire has claimed thousands and thousands of acres in not only Orange County, but as well as Passaic County in New Jersey. And in fact, a New York State Park Ranger lost his life trying to fight this fire. So folks, if you can do anything, if you're local, if you can donate, you can go on the Facebook page, Warwick, New York Fire Department. They have a list of everything that they need. These firefighters and first responders are all on rotations. I think they said that the South Street Fire Department has become like a headquarters. Guys are sleeping there. They're taking donations. So folks, if you can do anything for these local firefighters, these local first responders, it would mean the world to me. It would mean the world to them. If you are not from the area, go on that Facebook page, Warwick, New York Fire Department, and instant message them. Ask if they can take a donation of money or if you could ship them something. Let's help these guys out, right? And to all my friends in Warwick, again, please be safe. If you can help these firemen out, if you can help these first responders out, please do it. Know that my heart, I'm hoping for everybody to survive. I hope that they don't lose their homes, but please, folks, be safe. Guys, it's been a great week. I'm ecstatic. You got my shirt. Trump will never quit. That's right, folks. He's going to do what's right for this country. You may not feel it this right now. You may feel sad, but this will pass, okay? Your sadness will pass because when your wallet is thick with money, when the gas prices are going down, when the electric bills are going down, you're going to be happy. In fact, I got something on my phone somebody sent me, which I was really surprised at, and it's not here anymore. I got it. I'm going to show you something that changed within the week, or I'm going to tell you, and then I'm going to put it up on the thing just so that you know, right? Okay, so within 72 hours of Trump making president, right? The first female chief of staff was appointed. That was Susie Wiles. New York City has agreed to stop giving debit cards to illegals. The U.S. companies are bringing production home. The stock market hit all-time highs. Bitcoin, all-time highs. The newest migrant caravan is starting to break up. Qatar agreed to evict Hamas leaders from their country. That's a win. Hamas wants an immediate end to their war. The Taliban claims to want a new chapter. China wants peaceful coexistence. Russia is ready to speak with the U.S. The EU wants to buy gas from us, not the Russians. And Ukraine leaders are already in talks with Trump and Elon Musk. Folks, the world has even spoken. There are people in other countries that are leaders that don't like Trump and fear Trump because they know that he's not going to take their bullshit. Okay? This is a good thing for everybody. I know Netanyahu was happy. Bibi knows that Trump will support Israel and he will do whatever it takes to keep Israel an independent country, not a two controlled state, not two government state. Israel is going to be Israel. Okay? Ukraine, I know that Biden today is going to talk to Trump about don't forget to keep taking care of Ukraine. Listen, they've been fighting for a while. They've been given a lot of money from us. The Europeans need to also start pitching in and helping out because if Putin takes over, it's the Europeans that need to be worried. Honestly, not us. So the Europeans need to kick in. But again, that's going to come on to NATO and on the UN. And let's remember what he did last time he was president. Trump's going to put NATO nations and the UN nations in check about money, about troops. And this world's going to get better. So cry your tears out now. Dry them up. Pick up your pants and get ready for the next 4 years of a Republican administration, a Republican Senate, and a Republican House that's going to do everything in its power to make this country great, to make you feel like you can accomplish things, make your children feel like they can accomplish things, and bring us back to where we belong. So remember, no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, no tax on Social Security. If you can't be happy with one of those three, there's something wrong with you. Folks, I'm out. And hope you liked the video. Like, subscribe, tell your friends, tell your family. I'll see you next time.